Welcome back to Robbie Wood, everybody. Robbie Woodward with another vid. Now here's the problem. 3 minutes, 55 seconds. That's what the world says is the limit of your attention span, which sucks. Because I've got a story I think you're going to want to hear. And if just one person finds any value from what I'm about to share, then this video was worth it. Let's see how it goes. Story time. The chair doesn't even spin. What's the point if the chair doesn't spin? It just loses all the impact. This intro, shh. So happy to have you back, humbled you here again, and today we're going to be talking about the trickery, the wizardry, the enigma that is storytelling, and why I think the most significant investment any YouTuber, business, brand, or human being for that matter can make for at least the next, forever, is telling a story. Now I have to caveat this with a warning. What's about to happen to you might feel a little strange, but don't worry, it's just me tapping into your head, releasing hormones and neurotransmitters and inducing a chemical cocktail into your brain. Don't let that scare you. If you're watching this, then you're lucky. You were born somewhere in the last 120 years. We're all alive when access to 1 billion stories lies at our fingertips. Do you realise how unbelievably insane that is? Forget oil, gas, coffee, gold. How's your Bitcoin holding up? Storytelling is today's currency of choice. Content our new world commodity. Whatever happens in the next 10-15 years is irrelevant. The only thing we'll remember are the stories we tell. Tomorrow it might be NFTs or Web 3.0. In fact, not maybe, probably, actually. Don't get me started. Who needs a virtual fecking monkey? Well, the real thing wasn't even that good. Am I going to get a bill for that? Regardless of where the next century of innovation takes us, one constant will always remain the same: the art of storytelling. I grew up in a small town in Middle England, both in socio-political terms and physical location. Not quite the old maid's bike into Holy Communion kind of town, but the type of place where everyone knew what the neighbour's dog had for breakfast, and pre-Twitter nailed the spreading of news faster than Andrew lost his royal privileges. Case in point, when news broke that I'd landed my first TV role back in 2001, the woman from 3 streets over heard about it before I did, and she'd already lined me up with an agent. I still credit that woman as the torchbearer for my current net worth being listed as $11 million. It's a great story I tell down the pub, if even only half of it was true. I mean, can we find out who's got that? It must have been Canadian. They must have meant Canadian. Some of my most vivid memories come from countless hours of listening to my grandfather recite anecdotes of his time in history, the more glamorous side to both world wars, the advent of a computer the size of my current office, which was actually just a really big calculator, and mostly his memoirs of Sir Stanley Matthews back when Stoke City used to have a half-decent football team. That's soccer for the uninitiated. Thing is, my grandfather knew how to tell stories. He knew where and when to narrate them and the romanticism to which he could spin them. He also knew his audience, me. And here's the kicker, he had my undivided attention. This was before the internet, a place in history where if someone decided to call your house phone at the same time you were trying to dial up to the World Wide Web, for those just starting college or university, this was a time when MTV ruled the world and Apple was still just one of your 5 a day. Back when mobile phones were like holding a brick up to your head and sharing your latest underwear purchase with your sibling, never mind a complete stranger, was considered too much information. My phone now pings me with a to-do every couple of minutes. I've got the school run to do at 2 different schools and 6 meetings to attend before 7 PM. Shit, I've got to go. Digesting stories is something we now have to do on the go, And I thank every last one of you for being here this far, which, if you did, it's only going to take another couple of seconds for you to hit those like and subscribe buttons so I can tell more people like you stories like these. Look, we're busy, I get it, but stories are the very foundation on which the human race was built. Without them, we stop learning, become ignorant, stop innovating, we become emotionally void. Different cultures amalgamate into one and everything becomes mundane. And as a result, we all become shallow. You're not shallow, right? To quote Macbeth, life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It's a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. What's left, should we ever stop telling stories, is just noise. If you're an up-and-coming YouTuber, a CEO of a Fortune 500, a pop-up florist, your responsibility remains equal. If you want to impact the success of your channel, your business, your brand, start telling stories. It's never gonna change. Use YouTube to tell a story. Instagram, story. LinkedIn, story. TikTok, really quick story. Tell a damn story. But not just any old story. A story with emotional and human context. It adds value, is empathetic, authentic and real. A story for today, not for 2012. The landscape has changed. So have the platforms that we tell them on. But the truly great stories, they'll live on forever. I remember Shakespearean prose. I remember my grandfather's fables, but I can't remember a piece of ad copy from 2010. You're still watching this, which means you bought into my story so far. Is this starting to sink in? A great story will always win, significantly if it provokes a reaction, and that's even more relevant when it comes to brand storytelling and storytelling online. People have become more than wise to the onslaught of content that occupies their every space. Your audience are adept at filtering out the noise. Now you have less time to capture their attention than you ever did. We're all busy, remember? Long-term viewing is at an all-time low as we swap satellite for Netflix and Hollywood for YouTube, and in our house, family conversation for WhatsApp or Messenger. We're wholly on demand. My daughter reaches for the iPad before deliberating what to have for breakfast, and my wife DMs me more than we talk in person, which is another argument. Story. It's another story for another time. The internet has made it infinitely possible for us to reach people in their own time, with virtually no financial outlay whatsoever, leading to an obscene amount of variables demanding moments from us. The opportunities to influence and provide value to people worldwide has never been so real. Twitter proves the notion that 280 characters is enough to tell a story, and TikTok, well, TikTok. But think about the content you remember, content you liked, shared and were retweeted 1,000 times. They'll all have something in common. They'll all ignite a reaction or emotional response. Laughter, anger, surprise, sadness, possibly even fear. That's what stories do and will keep doing till the end of time. The game hasn't changed. The rules may have altered slightly, but the goals are where they've always been. The only difference is you have to figure out how to tell stories on today's platforms and leverage that content for double taps and shares. Like any currency, the value fluctuates with the nuances of society, culture and time. Economic downturns like pandemic or the constantly swerving algorithms can affect the relevance of the placement of your content at any given time. But if you take nothing from the moment you've given me here, know this. If you start with a story, you'll win. The end.